Hi and welcome to Easy Fishing. Today I'm going to be running through how to set up a loaded waggler. This is part 3 in my series of how to set up floats. So today I'm using a Drennan loaded crystal waggler. This is a straight crystal waggler with a non-toxic weight in the bottom of it. On the side it is printed that it has a 2 gram weight in the bottom, this one, plus it takes a loading of approximately 1.5 bb's. So let's get started. Need a float adapter. Now the reason for using a float adapter is it enables you to change your float should conditions change. If the wind gets up, you might want to change to a heavier waggler. Now we're going to lock this in place with either float or gripper stops. Now these are the Drennan float stops. They come in 3 sizes. These are small and these are the gripper stops. They're basically more mouse dropping or bomb shaped, I suppose. There are other varieties. There's these ones here. I'm not sure whose make these are, but they're just as good. I just use Drennan and this is what I've got to hand. So all you do is pass your line through the end of the loop of wire, wet it, and slide 2 float stops onto the line. The reason for wetting it is it helps them slide up the line easier. Then take your float with the adapter fitted, pass the line through that and put on 2 more. Now some people might want to put 3 on. It depends on the diameter of the line. If you're using a very fine diameter line, 3 might be a better bet. But here I'm just using 2. Now when you use 2, they grip the line much better. If you're using finer than say 018, you definitely will probably want to use 3. So they look like this. Small gap in between them, same as if you were shotting. And now we're just going to pop it in the shotting tube. And as you can see, there's a fair amount of float sticking out. Now, with a thick straight top waggler like this, if you put a number 10 shot on it, you're barely going to notice it on the float. So I would suggest no smaller than a number 8. The reason for that is you would probably be using these at distance in a wind where you want to maybe anchor the float to the bottom with some shot. So what I'm going to do is add several number 8 stops. Right, now I've added 6 number 8s. I'm just going to drop it. I'm going to pull them all up to the float. And drop it back in the tube. Now as you can see, there's still a fair amount of shot needed. The reason I've put this is so you can play around with the shotting, so you can have a bulk of say 4 number 8s down the line plus 1 or 2 small droppers. It just gives you flexibility in your rig. Now we're obviously going to have to add another shot to this, so I'm going to select a BB anchor shot and attach that between the bulk of number 8s and the gripper stop. Again, work the shot a couple of times by opening it and closing it to soften it. This is one of the disadvantages of non-toxic shot, but we're forced to use it in bigger than 8s. So just nip that on the line, drop it in. Now, as you can see, we're very nearly there. In fact, I'd say that's actually probably a little bit too much. So we'll take that out and substitute it for a number 1. Drop it back in, retest. Now that is dotted down nicely. So if you are fishing off the bottom, that will do fine. But if you're in a wind, you would want to reduce the weight on that. So what I would suggest is substitute that for a number 4. Recheck the shotting. And there we have it. I would say on a windy day with a ripple on the water, that would be fine. Now, the reason for doing this is, as I've said, so you can juggle the shotting. So, for example, we'll just slide the float up the line, move the shotting tube, so you would have the float with the 4 gripper stops and 1 number 4, which leaves you 6 number 8s down the line. Now, you could spread them out, you could move 4 of them up to join the bigger shot at the base of the float. In fact, you could move 2 of them up, leave 3 number 8s down the line and 1 below. So you would end up with what it would be in essence a double bulk. Or you can slide them all together, you can space 3 out, you can drag 1 or 2 on the bottom. Because you've got a fair amount of float sticking out, on a windy day, as it drags across the bottom, you need to allow for that. Add a loop to the end of your line to attach your hook length and you're good to go. So that's how you set up a loaded Waggler. So thanks from Easy Fishing, bye for now, catch you in a bit.